Hi everyone, thanks so much for tuning into our Emmy Contenders series. My name's Yvonne Villarreal and I cover television. We're here today with Justin Hartley, who plays 1/3 of the Big Three on NBC's This Is Us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me back. What's the matter with you already?
Nothing. Right. We're not going to talk about it.
I got this, don't worry.
We're not going to talk about it.
I'll take care of it.
First, big congrats, a 3-season renewal.
Thank you, yeah, we're excited about that.
What was your reaction? Like, how were you feeling about that?
It's great. I mean, it's heaven. We're in a place where we get to work with, I feel like the best writers on the planet. I feel like I get to work with the best actors on the planet. We get great directors. We have great producers. We work for a great network, a great studio, and we all love each other. We're one great big happy family. And then for someone to say you get to do this for a few more years is wonderful. It's great.
Well, because this season in particular raised the issue, like, how do actors feel about being locked in for a certain period? Because
what do you mean?
Does it? I don't know if you heard about that.
No, listen.
But the idea that it keeps you from doing other stuff. But I mean, you've managed to do other stuff. So do you feel that restricted?
I don't feel restricted at all. I feel honored, and I feel like I play center field for the Yankees, or the Dodgers. I think it's the best job on the planet. It's the best job I've ever had. All jobs aren't. Yeah. Like what the job that I have, and I certainly understand. I understand the sort of the theory behind that, and kind of the feeling that might that might bring if you're not happy where you are. But I think that's not just actors. I think that's anyone. That's like, I know people that friends of mine who have kids that aren't very good kids, and they're like, oh God, I'm in this for a while. You can't undo that. But no, the truth is our network and our studio, to me and I think to all of us, have been very sort of vocal and sort of letting us know that they will support anything that we want to do outside of the show, as long as it doesn't, sacrifice the show.
Too much, yeah. Well, let's get into one of those side projects before we start talking about This Is Us. But you were in Little, which was...
Just a little.
Just a little.
Yeah.
But how fun was that?
It was great. It's great. Anytime you get a chance to do something different and work with different people and collaborate with what I think are comedic geniuses, and to be around Marseille, I mean, she's...
You worked with the youngest producer in Hollywood.
Yeah, she's fantastic. She's really wonderful, super bright and just funny, gets it, and is professional, and she's going to be around forever. She's really great. And just be part of that is fun. It's one of the things I love about my show, actually, is that we get to do different things. Like you can do comedy, you can do drama, you can do heavy drama, you can do suspense. There's all kinds of things going on.
Did Marseille give you any notes?
Yeah, but then she told me she threatened me a lot.
What did she do?
No, of course not. She was wonderful.
Okay,
yeah,
I would love to be in that.
See
what happened there.
We spent a lot of time, it was an awkward sort of interaction, and so we spent a lot of time, I think, kind of trying really hard not to laugh and ruin takes.
Yeah, it was awkward. She was hitting on you.
She's a great actress.
She's really good.
It's funny. Yeah.
Well, so with This Is Us, Kevin is sort of on a mission to Vietnam to learn more about his father. And I think he's approaching this sort of as a healing mission. So talk about what excited you or intrigued you about diving into this thread.
Well, first of all, we went to Vietnam, which I think is really, really cool. And that just, it's hard to explain what that does, what that kind of, what going on location to that extreme, like going halfway across the world to shoot these things. In a way, it's kind of like, it helps in a way, because it kind of, I don't know if this sounds ridiculous or not, but it made me in a way realize how important this was to Kevin, and I cared so much about Kevin, and I wanted to make sure that Kevin got all the answers. And so that was kind of cool. But I also think, just like if you look at the broad scope of things, where we found this character when we first saw him compared to where he is now, and that journey that he took to get there, and how hard it was for him to get where he, I think, always knew he should be, but felt pressure to get to this place, and then is actually kind of feeling good about himself right now and has done the work and then relapsed and then realized that there's more work to be done and it's this ongoing thing.
Yes.
I think we're finding out things about him I think he's finding out things about himself that maybe years ago he would have said in a private moment, I wish I was blank, or I wish I were blank. Now I think he's discovering that he actually is that. And it's really cool to watch this guy kind of grow into a man right before our very eyes and do all these really important things that are meaningful, and he's a thoughtful individual and he's deep. And
but it's heartbreaking too, because he's very much in a fragile state, right?
Yeah, which is one of the things that he has finally realized.
Yeah.
And I think before it was like, okay, man, that was a tough one. That was a toughie.
Yeah.
Thank
I'll get
God
through
we're
it,
past
though.
that.
Yeah.
Now let's tell some more jokes.
Yeah.
And now he's realizing this how thin of a line that is and how tight of a rope he's on. And it's a very, very, it's just a slight little twinge, and then it's a slippery slope the other way. So he's got to pay attention and be focused and take care of himself. And I think he's doing that.
Well, he sort of gets punched in the gut when he learns that his uncle isn't in fact dead,
Right.
and that
Right.
the bigger thing, that his father lied to the family, lied to him, and that throws him for a loop.
Massively, and I think that's one of those things, and I remember the scene that he had with his mother in the hallway when he was trying to get his uncle into that clinic and get him help. And he wasn't having any success at it. And so it was like so heartbreaking. And then he takes a little walk, and then he has this conversation with his mom where he admits, and keep in mind, he has all that guilt for the last conversation he had with his father, how their relationship was right before he died. And he has the guts and kind of like the guts to be honest enough to say, I'm mad at him. And then how do you deal with that? How do you deal with being angry at someone who you can't
communicate with?
Can't communicate with.
Can't have the closure.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
How do you think he views knowing that his uncle is alive? Like, do you think, on top of just wanting to help him because he's family, he sees that as a Jack proxy?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's another disappointment was that, when he found out that his uncle really didn't want anything to do with it, he's not ready.
Yeah.
And I think that's okay, but I think in a perfect world, Kevin would have put his arms around him and he would have said, tell me everything about you. Let's go out for probably not a beer, but let's go out for a coffee or something, or let's communicate and let's be in each other's lives, and tell me what you know about my father and I'll tell you what I remember, and we'll, so sort of like, and also seeing that man that old, an age that he never saw his father get to, and it's not his father, but there's it's the same kind of spirit and the same kind of soul, right? And I know that he's been through a lot, and he's not taking care of himself, but there's that too, I think, and just what I loved about playing those two shows that were back to back, when we went to go find this man, I just love how dedicated Kevin was. Especially when the man said, "No, we're not going to do this," and Randall and Kate were like, "Well, what are we going to do here? I guess we're going to." He's like, "We're not.
Not stopping.
He's our family. We're going to do this. This is what's going to happen." And that's very sort of like Jack, isn't it? I think he just can't help it. I mean, I think he's programmed that way. He takes care of other people, and he's good at it. It's interesting things that we're finding out about him, I think.
Well, how is that? I mean, how is that to see the development of Kevin? Because I think early on it was easy to sort of write him off, but to see where he's sort of gone, and how has that pushed you as an actor?
To the limit. I mean, I think it's like anything else, these directors that we have as well, and the writers, and just everything pushes you to the limit. But I think you would be doing a disservice in anything really, but especially something like this that is so glaringly brilliant when you look at it, when you get the script, it's like, oh boy, I mean, it's exciting and it's daunting at the same time, because you want to service this wonderful thing that you're holding in your hands. So yeah, it's push. You push everything to the limit, and you hope that it's enough. I guess that's what you do.
Have you found yourself trying to connect the dots more in your own family's backstory, like wanting to know more about your own family?
Yeah, I've actually been like that for a bit. Yeah, and that's an interesting thing too. I never really thought about that. I guess I sort of have always been like that. I'm always curious to know how it is that every time I speak to my mother or my father, I learn huge things about their lives that were never brought up in all of my 24 and a half years now that I've been on this planet. 25 and a half, I lied. But it's never been brought up. It always fascinates me that there's so much. I don't know if it's, and I don't know, because I know for my 25 years, I know sometimes I just forget about things.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know if it's that they forgot or if it never got brought up. I suppose that what it is, because I have a daughter now who's 14. I suppose what it might be is that I'm spending so much time taking care of her and asking questions about her and making sure that she's okay, because that's what's important. That I guess I just don't have time to talk so much about myself and what I was like when I was her age and all that. So maybe that's what it is.
She's gonna start asking.
Yeah.
Because it is fascinating. Like, wow,
Huge
you
life
were
events.
you were a whole person before me.
Well, there might be that. There might be shame. There might be some shame where it's like, hey, it took me 25 years to get past that. My hands still sweat thinking about it. I'm certainly not going to talk about it with my kids. It could be that.
But it's also interesting in like how they want to talk about it too. Like, it's an interesting exercise for them too, to like relive things they like sort of put in the back burner.
They're remembering it again for the first time, kind of sometimes. Yeah. And it's funny how you remember things. And I'll talk to my brother about a story, or my brother will tell me a story. We were both there. And I swear to you, I'm like, that's not how it happened. He's like, and I explained he's like, what are you talking about? It's crazy.
It's very weird.
Yeah, your brain wants to protect your heart maybe and start painting things the way that your heart can handle it. But yeah, that's why I'm glad everything is secretly being recorded.
Yes, it's true.
It is true.
Your whole life is out there. It's weird. She's going to watch this in like 10 years if it's still online. But Kevin, no, like his uncle not wanting the help is really hard for him.
Yeah.
And he has that moment where he sees that bottle in the trailer. And he was trying to call Zoe, and she's not answering. And that's a crucial moment because he's at a point where he's feeling like a failure, which is an especially hard thing to process when you're an addict, because it just leads you back to the bottle or whatever it is. Yeah. So how was that for you? I mean, do you think her answering would have changed anything?
I've often thought about that.
Yeah.
I think it depends on what he would have said to her. I think it depends on what he would have said to her. And I think the way I kind of saw it in my head, or see it in my head, is that he was reaching, it was a cry for help, he was reaching out. But also I think maybe reaching out in a way to someone that he probably maybe knew wouldn't pick up the phone and maybe wasn't available. And if she did pick up the phone, you know, would he have said where he actually is, or would he have played it off?
Right.
That's the question, right? That's the question. Because I feel like now, if he made that phone call now to Randall or to Kate or his mom, I think he would have said, "Help! My hands are full here. I don't know what I'm doing. I need somebody to lean on. I need you to come here and put your arms around me and take care of me." And I think as sort of child, like that sounds so weak. That's so powerful to be able to recognize that and to move forward and say, I need help.
Yeah.
That takes a massive human being. So to me, I'm proud of him. I think if he were a real dude, I would be friends with him. I'd be really proud of him.
Yeah.
And I'd like to be that guy, to like be there for him. I really do think he's come a long way.
Well, and how do you view that Zoe relationship? What
in what sense? You mean overall?
Overall, like, do you think he always knew in the back of his head that this wasn't going to be something that would last?
No.
Or?
No. I think that he is I think Kevin, well, he's an addict, and I think he falls in love really quickly.
Really quickly, yeah.
And I think that she obviously looks the way she looks. She's, so that's the attraction is right there immediately. And then they have these conversations, and she makes him laugh, and she takes his mind off of things, and she values him. And then he actually could be there for her in a really heavy moment. She let him in. They're forever bonded in that way. And no, I don't think that he was in it for, anything other than the long haul. And I just think, in part of sort of what he does a lot is he just, it becomes too weighty. He doesn't let things breathe as much as he should. And he's working on it, but it becomes this heavy thing. And then the kid thing was a deal breaker for him. And I think that he wishes. It's like sometimes he's not very logical. For him to say, no, it's okay. Fine. I really want kids, but if you don't want kids, I get it. It's cool.
Yeah.
That's just not the way life works. So that was the deal breaker, and I get it. I think she got it. I think he gets it, and I don't think there's any animosity. I think it's just really sad. It's just a really sad breakup because you have two people who love each other who can't be together.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Not willing to bend. They both have things.
Can't bend.
Yeah, they both have things.
Can't bend. Yeah.
So what did you think about the development where we do see that he is a father in the future?
What?
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, jeez. Wait till I watch it. You ruined the whole. I thought that was great. I'm happy that he gets something that he really wants, and I also think he's going to be an amazing father. I think he would be great. I think he's going to be hands-on and just wonderful. And I said we don't know how many kids he has.
This is true.
We don't know who the mom is. We don't know.
Okay, so wait. Have you seen all the theories about who the mom is?
I don't know if I've seen all of them, but I've seen some of them.
What did you think? There's a theory that he's raising Kate's kid.
Right.
What did you think of that one?
I think that's a good theory, but someone said that to me. I think I heard it. I think I heard it, or maybe I read it somewhere, and then I heard it at a panel I was doing. Someone said that to me. A woman was like, "I have this theory." I enjoy all of the theories because it means
and you're
people
used
are interested.
To them.
Well, people are interested in the show and they're watching and they want to believe certain things, and I think it's great. I think it's as long as people stay interested in the show, I'm happy.
Do you know who it is? Have they told you yet?
Are you asking me?
I'm not gonna. I'm a viewer, so I don't want to know until I need to know. But do you know?
Come on.
You know.
Come on.
What was your reaction?
I flipped the table. No, I'm thrilled. Listen, early on when I was on the show, I think season 1, very beginning of season 1, we shot this pilot that I thought was so great to read, and I watched it and I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. Oh my God, look at this pilot, it's fantastic. And then there was this, everyone was loving the pilot, and this one review came out and said, it was like a bad review, and it was like one of the greatest pilots I've ever seen, it was rave review, and then it said, D-, where does it go from here?
Wow.
Right? And I'm like, wow, talk about a rough, let's never go out on a date. That is an impossible person. But then I thought, wait, maybe there's some weight there. Where does it go?
Where does it go?
Right. And so now when they tell me things, when the writers tell me things and I get story, or if it changes or whatever, the last thing I do is wonder, well, where do we go from there? They've got it all figured out so well, and they're so good at what they do, that if I just do my job and stay in my lane and just kind of I always say let them be that pitcher that's throwing the no-hitter that you don't really acknowledge the no-hitter, right? That's where I feel like I work.
I don't want to know why you weren't in the scene, but were you bummed that you didn't get to do the makeup? But I also feel like Kevin doesn't really look all that different.
Why do you feel like that?
Because I feel like he takes pride in his appearance. Well, not pride, but I think
It's a drug addict, for God's sake.
But he has a kid.
Yeah.
But also he's not there, so maybe there's a reason.
Yeah. The question was I disappointed?
Yeah.
Disappointed is the wrong word, but I'm certainly anxious to find out what he's going to look like. They do such a good job of aging the actors.
Yeah.
In all kinds of the
Young,
the most dramatic deathbed to.
What was it like seeing Mandy? Were you on set at all?
See, Mandy is like this. You've spent time with Mandy?
Yeah.
She's like this young, vibrant, genius, beautiful, charismatic, fun, happy. And then to see that is it's a little bit devastating, isn't it? Because it looks so real.
It looks very
real.
real.
You almost want to be like, wait a minute.
Are you okay? Yeah.
I'll tell you a funny story. Dan had us over to his house. I know what it was. The fire.
Okay, yeah.
The fire scene. And it was where we see that Jack dies. And we come out of the room. We've all watched this show. We come out of the room. We're in his kitchen, and it's kind of quiet, right? And then everybody starts to mingle and this and that. And I look over at my wife, and she's like kind of a different color. She's like pale. And I was like, "Are you okay?" And she goes, "I'll be right back." She walks across the kitchen. She just needed to go hug Milo and just be like. And she goes, "You're okay. You're okay." But it's that kind of thing where they make it look so real. And it's hard to not get caught up in it.
It's very hard because she did look like, I was like,
Yeah.
that must have taken a long time.
Not great.
Do you ever go in the makeup trailer as they're doing this
I
stuff?
go in the makeup trailer to get my face and my hair and everything done, go shoot my scenes, and come back in the makeup trailer and Mandy's still there. It's amazing. And I don't want to say anything because I don't want her to hit me. I'm like, bye, have a good weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where do you think his acting career goes? Because he has a pretty nice house. So what do you think happens after this movie? Like, is he on the fast track or?
I think he'll. Yeah. I mean, I think in a way, I also think he'll find different things maybe in that field, but that are maybe he produces a bit, maybe he finds other things. Yeah, but I think he'll give a lot back as well, and it seems like he's corrected a lot of this stuff and kind of found his way, something that works for him.
I have to ask about Terry Gross. Kevin gets interviewed by her, which is like the pinnacle, right?
Unbelievable.
So do you have a Terry Gross?
Which was great. What was great though was he didn't know who
who she was.
He was like, I don't know. I got to go all the way to
that woman.
This movie. They're like dragging me all over the place. I don't know.
Do you have a Terry Gross story? Like how long?
Meeting her?
Yeah.
She's lovely. She's like 6 feet tall. She's really, really sweet. She's obviously so good at her craft, and then it was interesting to see her being directed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because she just totally got the fact that there were people here that know what they're doing, and that she's like, well, I do what I do, and you do what you do, and let me know how to do it.
Right.
She's really cool, and then also like her sort of just her thirst for knowledge, like constantly asking questions.
Was she asking you a lot of questions?
She was really, really funny. We were doing the scene, and there was a scene that happened where I think Terry asks Kevin a question, and it kind of gets him. He doesn't know the answer to it, if I remember correctly, and he gets kind of emotional about not knowing. Like where did your father serve?
Yeah.
When did he serve? All that, and he just didn't know. His dad never talked about it. But he never thought to ask. Also, so he was feeling all that guilt and everything, and it's very emotional for Kevin and everything, and so. Kevin's getting emotional about it. They call cut, and she like looks at me and she goes, she's like blown away. She's like, you're getting emotional. And I'm like, isn't that funny?
That's what I was supposed to do.
I was like, am I? Yeah.
That's so fun.
Yeah, she was fun.
I have to ask.
You don't have to do anything.
I have to ask. Have you read the first episode for the new season? Because I know it's been written. So have you guys had it in your hands?
I have not.
No?
No.
Are you lying?
No. Tell me the truth. Why? Do I look like I'm lying?
I don't know.
Why would
I
lie about
can't
that?
tell.
I would just say
you
yes.
guys are so good at being cryptic and like
disguising. I don't know if I am. I think I'm horrible. I once just to try to throw somebody off, said that, I think I said, they were like, any new, and I'm so sorry that I did this to you. This was such a horrible thing. I don't remember which interview this was, but I apologize to you.
What did you do?
I said, we're doing a musical episode it's like a dance thing. And
right.
I don't know if we are or not. I made that up. I totally made that up. That poor person. I forget who that, I don't know why I said that. And then I kind of felt bad afterwards. I was like, I was joking, but I think, they probably knew I was joking, right?
Have you guys had to, I know with the fire episode, the script was very much under wraps, and
Parts of it especially.
Parts of it. Have you had another moment like that? Like was with the her or anything? Do you have to check in?
Often we have to check in, yeah. And I understand that. It's working. However they're doing it, they're able to keep those secrets, and that wouldn't be fun to have that leaked and spoiled for everybody.
Right.
So and I know we all are definitely willing to get things a little bit later, just so that it's protected, protect the baby.
How do you think the success of this show has sort of changed what opportunities come your way?
Professional opportunities? Yeah, I think a lot.
Yeah.
I think a lot. It's interesting in a way, because I don't think I've changed much. I mean, I'm a few years older, and I still do the same. I still have the same technique. I still go to the same classes. I still do the same work. I still study the same.
Exposure.
I hope I'm getting
everything.
better. Yeah, I hope you get better as you get older. Hopefully,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the goal. So, you never want to look at something you did 10 years ago and be like, wow, how did I do that? I used to be really good. You don't want that.
You don't want that,
You want to
no,
go the other
yeah.
way. But yeah, I think it's the exposure, and just, it's nice. It's nice for people to finally be able to see what you thought that you could do all these years that no one kind of gave you the opportunity to do. It's a hard business. And it's funny, everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people say to me, wow, you've been at this for a while. It doesn't feel like that. When your nose is down and you're working, it flies by. But if you stop and think about it, it's like, wow, I did. That took a while.
Well, talk about the other projects you have lined up, because you're shooting a couple of movies already.
Yeah, so I think in September, at the end of September, there's a movie coming out called The Hunt. Which is pretty cool. It's this sort of I've heard them say that it's a political like a political thriller. It is in a way. It's off the hook. It is a there's a lot going on. It's intense. It's a very, very intense movie, and a lot of misdirection.
What kind of character do you play?
Oh gosh, I play I don't want to give it away. I play I don't want to ruin it.
You play someone.
Yeah, I play someone who's trying to. I play a guy that's trying to stay alive as long as he can and keep everyone else around him alive. How about that?
Isn't that what we're all trying to do?
That's what we're all trying to do, yeah. Yes. Anybody who punched the clock today is doing that. Why are you here?
Yes.
Gotta put food on the table.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, there's a movie called The Phone coming out, which is a comedy, which is fun. It's sort of about the idea that we're being overrun by our devices. You and I were just talking about that, anxiety that you get if you can't connect with your phone, like it's a human being. Funny movie. And then, is that it? Oh, The Exchange. I just got back from Canada, and I just shot a movie called The Exchange, which is basically takes place in the 80s.
That's fun.
It's about this this high school kid, really smart kid, but he sort of doesn't fit into the rural area, community that he comes from. He just feels like the outsider. So he gets this brilliant idea. There's this exchange program, and he gets this brilliant idea to have an exchange student from France come and live with him, because that one will be the outsider, because they'll have the accent, and then he'll be slowly but surely, without everybody even noticing, he'll be included in everything, and then he'll be part of it. So it's this brilliant idea, and it doesn't quite go the way that he planned. And I don't play the high school kid.
You could.
No.
You could.
But I play this awesome, horrible, despicable human being who's he's the gym teacher.
Oh my God, so what is your outfit? What is the outfit?
We'll have to wait and see. I can't believe they let me get away with this. I was
my God.
I have a plan. It's incredible. It's nearly unrecognizable, but
Really?
he's really funny and really awful and despicable and a bully and like peaked in high school and is now like at a high school and just awful to these kids. But there's something really sick and twisted about a gym teacher / part-time law enforcement officer
Wow.
being rude to children that is, for some reason, sometimes can be
That's gonna
funny.
be so good.
It's funny.
I can't wait to see that.
Funny one.
Well, we're gonna end things with a lightning round, if you don't mind.
Oh, let's do it. I love lightning rounds.
Give your answers to the camera.
Okay.
Last show you binge watched.
Chernobyl.
That's a good one.
I know. It's good, right?
Okay, before I ask this, did you watch Game of Thrones or no?
Yes.
Okay. What did you think of the finale?
Loved it.
Okay.
I loved it. I think this about Game of Thrones. You ready? This is my whole thing. This whole up in arms, like let's rewrite it. Listen. Think about this for a second. Perhaps it's just that you love the show so much that you're sad to see it go, and nothing that they could have written would satisfy you because you want it to keep going.
Right.
Just enjoy it.
That's a good outlet.
They wrote a great season.
What classic TV show would you have loved to be on?
Classic. Three's Company. I'm just now realizing that.
What's the worst job you've ever had?
I had to clean a bakery when I was in high school. It was the worst job I've ever had. It was walk to the bakery from school, clean for about 4 or 5 hours, go home, and it's the worst. Everything's baked on. It's bad.
So are you like not into baked goods?
No, I'll eat all of it.
You'll eat all
Yeah,
of
but
it.
I'm not cleaning up my mess. I'm like, I will leave the crumbs on the counter. I've paid my dues. No, I'll eat. I've been known to slam down a few donuts and yeah, I'll do a bear claw or two. I have no problem with that.
Wow,
yeah,
good
I'll
for you.
spike that blood sugar. I don't care. Yeah. You ever have Mexican Coke?
Yeah, that
It's
will
good,
just
right?
send you over.
Yeah, that cures everything.
It does cure everything.
It's wonderful.
Well, Justin, thanks so much for joining us. It was a pleasure
Thank you
having
for having me. I appreciate it.
And for all you, if you want to see more of our Emmy chats, head over to latimes.com.